Hello everyone, welcome to Political Science class, and today we'll start on class 12, a new chapter that is on chapter 10, topic End of Bipolarity, Disintegration of Soviet Union. In the previous session we have discussed about the Cold War, right? The presence of bipolarity, where the world was divided into two superpowers, that is the US and the Soviet Russia. In this chapter we'll discuss about the end of bipolarity and the disintegration of Soviet Union. From the topic itself, we understand that Soviet Union, she faced disintegration. She faced her downfall. What was the causes for disintegration? Okay, what led her to the downfall as a superpower? The first one is negation of political democracy. Negation here means denial, okay, or absence of political democracy. Okay, after the death of Lenin in 1924, Stalin, he emerged as the leader of Soviet Union. Okay, when we emerged as the leader, he acted the role of a dictator. Now, when he started his role as a dictator, the parliament of the Soviet Union, that is called Duma, okay, she was reduced to a mere rubber stamp. Why? Is because all the decisions has been taken by Stalin, that is in a dictatorial way, and the role of the parliament was to just stamp on the approval, so it was reduced to a mere rubber stamp. When he started to control the Soviet Union, Stalin, he tried to control over the mass media, that is newspapers, right? All means of communication was controlled by the state. Again, the freedom of expression, all right, the right to express, the right to vote, all this political freedom was curbed when he assumed the supreme leader. So when he started to rule the Soviet Union, the political rights or the political expression of the people was not given, negation, absent. There was absolute absence of this, and his dictatorial way of running the government brought chaos and restlessness in Soviet Union. Okay, so negation of political democracy, it here especially refers to the actions of the supreme leader, that is Stalin. Okay, number 2, economic failure. Now, when Stalin assumed the leadership, he focused more on heavy industries, all right? He focused more on heavy industries to produce industrial purposes as well as for agriculture purposes. Now, the smaller industries, they face bankruptcy, okay? The standard of living of the people became from bad to worse. And even the food situation here, it turns from bad to worse because the smaller industries were not given the opportunity to run as because these heavy industries, they were at the realm of the economic condition. Point number 3, we have militarism. Now, the Soviet Union, in order to strengthen herself, focused on this development of these nuclear weapons, especially weapons of mass destruction. Now, when they put so much of funds and resources in militarism, there was a shortage of basic necessities like food, clothing, and shelter. Okay, we see this in militarism. We can give the example of the Warsaw Pact, right? And that was developed in 1955. It is a military alliance so that she could strengthen herself in the military way. Okay, number 4, Gorbachev policy. Gorbachev, in 1985, he assumed the leadership of a general secretary of Communist Party. Okay, because of his good way of functioning and handling of the situation, in 1988, he was chosen as the president of the Soviet Union. Here, the GS is for the Communist Party, okay? And in 1988, he became the president of Soviet Union. When he became the president of the Soviet Union, in order to reform the Soviet Union, okay, in order to bring a good administration, he introduced 2 policies. That is, first is glasnost, second is perestroika. Glasnost, it means openness, okay? In here, People were given the right to object, freedom of expression. It was all present here. And in perestroika, it means restructuring. Restructuring of the political system as well as the economic system. He says that any political problem or any economic issues, it should be resolved by people's representative. That is, it means that people's voices or opinions should be accepted so as to reconstruct the political system or the economic situation. When he tried to adopt this policy, most of the political leaders, the other political leaders, they tried to block this policy. Why? Is because they want to run the political system that they have been doing in the past. That means the dictatorial form of government. They do not want the voice of the people. Even though Gorbachev policy was right, they tried to weaken it. Okay, and when he tried to run this, make use of the glasnost, even this, the other officials, they tried to block his part, even though he was trying, or even though he adopted the correct way of restructuring the political system. Okay, this was the policy of Gorbachev, that is glasnost and perestroika. Number 5, we have a fall of communist regime in East European. When we say East European, it involves countries like Bulgaria, okay, Romania. These all comes under the Eastern European. When Gorbachev became the head of the Soviet Union, he tried to withdraw the forces, that is the presence of military forces in the Eastern European country. Okay, next, he also decided to cancel the Warsaw Pact. The Warsaw Pact in 1955, it is a military alliance, so he decided to end this pact. All right, the next is the fall of the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall, it was constructed in 1961. This wall is served as a purpose so that the East Germany will not be allowed to go in or come out, okay, from East Germany. And this Berlin Wall, it fell in 1989. These three factors, okay, it shaken the hold of the Soviet Union, especially in the Eastern European. All right. Number 6, we have national aspiration of Union Republic. Now, after the fall of the Berlin Wall, okay, many new countries we have here. The special reference is the 3 Baltic Republic, that is the Lithuania, Estonia and Latvia. They started to express, or they started to ask for their own political independence. That is, it started in 1988 to 1919. Because in these 3 countries, national aspiration was going on. After the end of all this, withdrawing of forces, end of Warsaw Pact, and the fall of Berlin Wall, now the countries started to express or to ask for their own political independence. See, because why did they express or why did they ask for the independence is because in 1940, okay, in 1940, Stalin, okay, this leader, the dictatorial leader, they say that the 3 Baltic republics stated that in 1940, Stalin entered a secret pact. That is, with the Hitler, German, through this 1940 secret pact, these 3 countries was merged with the Soviet Union. So they want to cancel this 1940 because it did not ask the views and opinions of these 3 countries. It was entered secretly, okay, to join the Soviet Union. Similar feeling was felt with the Georgia in 1991. She also expressed her political freedom, and even countries like Armenia and Moldavia. All these countries, especially in the Eastern Europe, they went or they asked for their freedom, and all these factors, that is from point 1 to point 6, it loosened or it shaken the hold of the Soviet Union as a supreme leader or a supreme power in the bipolarity era. So this factor, it led to her downfall, and when she disintegrated, there was only USA as the supreme or an absolute power. Okay, so these are the causes of the disintegration of the Soviet Union. Our next topic is on many new states. Okay, in the last point we have seen in the downfall of the disintegration of the Soviet Union, in the last point we have seen about the national aspiration, right? So this national aspiration, when the different countries started to express their own political freedom, it led to the involvement of many new states. For example, the first one we have Baltic Republic. Baltic Republic here is referring to 3 countries, that is Lithuania, Estonia and Latvia. These 3 were the first countries to express or to demand for independence from the Soviet Union. Okay, first 3 countries. Okay, next is the Soviet Republic. Soviet Republic of Russia and Ukraine. These 2 also started to ask for the independence. Their view is that they decided to cancel this 1922 treaty, because through this treaty, these 2 countries, they were a part of the USSR. So they decided to cancel this 1922 treaty. Okay, so this is under the Baltic Republic, mostly referring to the Eastern European, because a feeling of national aspiration was going on in all these countries. All right, now again, the other feeling was that they had the feel that the Russians or the Soviet Union might come and occupy their territory, because they has been under the Soviet Union for so long. Okay, so when the national aspiration was going on, they decided to be a member of the United Nations. Okay, they applied to be a member of the United Nations as an independent country. Next, there was a feeling that the Russians might come and occupy their territory or seize or hold their geographical unit. So they had a feeling to join this NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a military alliance that was under the US, so as to safeguard them from the control of the Soviet Union. All right. Point number 2, we have Central Asia, focusing on these 2 countries, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. When we come under these 2 countries, they took the middle path. Okay, they did not totally join the US, neither they totally ignored the USSR. They took the middle path. They had a good relations with the US and also maintained a close relations with the USSR. So their control over Central Asia was that it was middle. Okay. Point number 3, we have this Yugoslavia. Okay, in 1992, this Yugoslavia, they started to show problems. Okay, and it got divided into 2. We have this Czech Republic and the Slovakian Republic that happened in 1993. Okay, these 2 new countries, it was out from this Yugoslavia Republic, and we have 2 new countries, that is the Czech Republic and the Slovakian Republic, that emerged in 1993. Point number 4, we have Yugoslavia. This country, in 1990, she faced a civil war. Okay, the civil war, it turned worse because it was based on religious and political affairs. Okay, that's why when it turned worse in 1991, the UN terminated her membership. The membership of Yugoslavia in the United Nations was terminated because the civil war that was going on in Yugoslavia, it was very worst. Okay, in 2003, Yugoslavia, this country, it ceased to exist. Okay, and a new federation came about, known as the Federation of Serbia and Montenegro, in place of Yugoslavia. All right, and in the following years, in 2006, Montenegro, she ceded from Serbia. That means she came out from this federation and became herself as an independent. Okay, so from 2006 onwards, we have 2 independent countries, that is the Serbia and Montenegro. All these countries, okay, came out from the Soviet Union. All right, so this led to the downfall or the whole over the Soviet Union over these countries led to her downfall in a large extent. Okay, our next topic is this shock therapy. Okay, the shock therapy. Shock therapy in Soviet Union. When she faced this problem, the disintegration of this country, she felt a system of shock therapy. Shock therapy is mostly used in medical term, that like a shock or blow that is given to a patient, right? Similar feeling was felt by the Soviet Union, a shock and a blow. Why? Is because the disintegration of all this country, it was a blow to the Soviet Union. The next, the leaders of the Soviet Union, they decided to change the political as well as the economic system of the Soviet Union, right? From dictatorial policy, she decided to turn into a democratic form of government. All right. Next, even in this industrial and even in agriculture policies, they tried to bring this from the central state control. She decided to hand it over to the private enterprises that was in existence in the Western countries. All these changes, from the polity to the economy, it was a good change. But why they face shock therapy? Why did they face a blow? It's because all these changes was brought in a very drastic way. Okay, it was very fast. The change in political and the change in the economic system was very fast. That's why the Soviet Union felt a sense of shock therapy. We have seen this in this Soviet Union, the dictatorial leader, that is Stalin, and the new leader, that is the Gorbachev. It shows two different types. The first one was dictatorial, where he started to control his own government as well as his industry. But when Gorbachev came about, he somewhat tried to introduce a reform, okay, in political, that is, he allowed freedom of expression as well as the rights of the people. And even in decision making, he asked or he voted to listen to the voice of the citizens. But this was not much accepted by the dictatorial leadership that was practiced by Stalin. So when this shock therapy was happening in the Soviet Union, okay, the leader who wants to advocate a democratic form of government, okay, they felt somewhat like a shock, because democratic system was not the system that they wanted to follow, because for a very long time the Soviet Union was under the communist government, okay, where the state controlled political as well as the economic. So when they tried to bring a democratic form of government, it was new to them. Even the private enterprises, even though the industries was to given to the private firms, they did not know how to run this administration, because it was in the hands of the very few. In the past, the state control. And when private was introduced, the individuals, they did not know how to run these industries, because it was absent or it was not known to the Soviet Union. All right. So this session will stop here. That is from the shock therapy. We have discussed the end of bipolarity, what led to the downfall of the bipolarity, and after the disintegration of the Soviet Union, these were the new states that came about and started to play an important role in international politics, demanding for their political as well as their economic rights. Okay, and after these new countries started to gain the independence, they felt this shock therapy, okay, a blow that was faced by the Soviet Union in the political and in the economic field. All right.